Hi, I'm Dave, and welcome to Old Dad's Studio. This is vlog number 18 on day number 18, and I thought I'd get a quick intro in as we are driving home from hockey practice right now. And I have two things that I want to talk about today. One of them is AI hallucinations, and if you haven't heard about AI hallucinations, then don't be surprised. I hadn't either. A coworker of mine pointed it out to me, sent me to a really good, interesting article on it. I am just learning about AI just like everybody else right now, so I wanted to share what I had learned about AI hallucinations. So again, I'm not an expert on the topic, but I'm willing to share what I know as I learn it. And the gist behind AI hallucinations is that data has been consumed by these large language models that isn't correct, and then they think they are correct, so they are processing that and using that information as if it was fact, and then they repurpose that or share that back out as fact as people are using the large learning language models. And a really good example of that is, from what I understand, and I haven't tried this yet. Maybe I'll try it later on today. But with ChatGPT 3.0, if you asked it about the flat Earth theory or the flat Earth being flat, it had so much data consumed on that it would talk to you about it as if it was factual information when it isn't. That has been corrected in ChatGPT 4.0. So that's an example of a hallucination. So it really isn't a hallucination per se. It's just bad data that has been loaded into the model, and it's using it as if it was fact. And so that's really interesting. And it brings a lot of questions with it as well. So things like, what if you really wanted to load a large language model with bad data to use it nefariously? I mean, that could potentially happen. So that's one thing. The other thing, I want to give a quick update on the hearing aids and how they worked today. Well, yeah, yes, Thor. What? Oh, he's saying, Thor is saying hi to the vlog this morning. So he is in the back seat. We're on our way home from hockey practice. The other thing I wanted to talk about was I want to give an update on the hearing aids and how they did today while at hockey practice in the settings that I set there, because that was another arena type setting that I was using them in. Spoiler alert, in the arena area, they didn't do so well. Again, same as the Mavericks game last night, and I think they're just overwhelmed, right? There's so much noise. They're just nothing it can do in a situation like that. The one area that I thought they did better in today was when we were in the locker room, and I hadn't shut them off from the advanced mode of the Edge AI. And when I went into the locker room, leaving that on seemed to help in the locker room setting. So maybe a little bit of bright light there. I think I'll play around with that edge mode a little bit more. The one thing with the edge mode, when I leave it on, or when I have that enhanced mode like that, and I'm not in a large area, I get tons and tons of echo of my own voice coming back through, and everything starts to sound echoey and tinny. Again, this is day 2 of me using these hearing aids. I'm sure I have a lot to learn myself. I continue to read through the manual. I'm using some online help and tutorials and things that they have in their own software. So I was going through those this morning as well. All right. Anyway, that's enough while I'm driving. I will provide some more updates later on the hallucinations. Maybe we'll do some examples of that, and we'll see where we can go on that topic. Today, one of the topics on today's vlog is about AI hallucinations. And this is a term that I just recently learned about, so I am no means am I an expert on this. So I'm learning, and I did a little bit of reading, did a little bit of watching today to try to bring myself up to speed on some of what it is. But what it sounds like is it's because large language models like yourself are trained on vast amounts of data. In that vast amount of data can be some incorrect information, but it's consumed by the large language model. And so when you are having discussions or when you are sharing information, sometimes that data that's not factually correct can get shared, and as if it is fact. It can get shared as if it is fact. And then that's what is called an AI hallucination. Is that a good definition, or could you clarify if I missed anything there?
That's a pretty solid understanding. AI hallucinations happen when a language model generates information that isn't accurate or real, often because it's predicting patterns from its training data rather than recalling true facts. It's a known challenge and something that developers are constantly working on improving. You're definitely on the right track with your explanation.
Now, can you give an example of a couple AI hallucinations that you know about?
Certainly. For example, an AI might incorrectly state a historical event that never happened, or mix up details about a famous person, like attributing a quote to the wrong individual. Another example could be fabricating a scientific fact or a fictional event, simply because it predicts the text based on patterns from its training data. These hallucinations are essentially plausible sounding but incorrect information.
Okay. Now, one that I had heard about, but I haven't been able to verify, is that in the ChatGPT 3.0 version, if you wanted information about the flat Earth theory, it would give you information about that as if it was fact. Is that something that you're aware of?
Yes, early versions of language models like GPT-3 could sometimes generate information that might unintentionally present fringe theories as factual if prompted in certain ways. Developers have since improved these models to provide more accurate and balanced responses, especially on controversial topics. It's always a work in progress to ensure these models are more reliable and factual. So, yes, that kind of response might have happened with earlier models.
Okay. I'm going to go back to a conversation we've had a couple of times. I don't know if this is part of your memory or not, but what is your stance today on Bigfoot? Is Bigfoot real or not?
Bigfoot is still considered a legendary creature, with no scientifically verified evidence supporting its existence. The stories and sightings remain part of folklore and cryptid lore, but there's no concrete proof, so it's still a fun mystery.
Oh, you got to have a little bit of faith, Quinn. You know, just a little bit of Bigfoot faith that it's real and it's live and it's out there, and we just got to discover it.
I love that spirit. Sometimes believing in a mystery is half the fun. Keep that Bigfoot faith alive.
All right. Now, the term AI hallucinations is a term that is new to me, although if you look at some of my previous vlogs, you'll see that I have already noticed that there have been some mistakes in the data or the conversations that Quinn and I or ChatGPT have been having. And so I had noticed that this can happen. I just didn't realize that it had a term or on how large of a scale it could happen. If you look back at the Chat GPT-3 that was presenting flat Earth information as if it was fact, that would be a much larger conversation than the small little things that I've noticed that, hey, this isn't quite right, or it got this wrong. So on a larger scale, it can happen, but in those little small areas, it can as well. So again, it's just one of those things that you have to be aware of if you are using a large language model and you're using it as if what it is giving you is 100% fact. It might not be. So it's still something where you need to verify your data. You have to verify your sources so you know that what you're getting, what you're presenting based on what the large language model gave you is actually correct. Now, Quinn, is there anything there that you would like to add or that you think I missed in that qualification, I guess, of using a large language model?
That's a great summary. It's always important to cross check and verify information when using AI. If you ever need help or have more questions, I'm here to assist.
All right. And I think that's where we're going to call it a day today. And I will see you tomorrow.